Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's quick video I would like to talk about the combat stats right here. They are also referred to as the secondary stats. They are very important for PvP and for PvE. These matter inside arenas in PvP. And it's also important for you to understand how to spec your class, which is another thing that I'm going to talk about in this video. I'm not going to get into every single class out of the 12 in the game to tell you exactly which stats you should put there and how you should do it. This is up to you and up to your class. However, I want to make you understand these stats and how to use them, because then if you understand them, you're going to be able to create and spec your class exactly the way you want to, exactly fit for the content that you want to do with your class, right? So these stats come from your equipment, weapon, armor, accessories and soulstone, and they are randomly generated on these pieces as you get them in your bag. You can change these stats to your liking by visiting this kind of merchant, which is called, translated as change stats merchant. Every single piece of equipment has 2 stats on it always, and they are generated through an RNG system from this list right here. So all of these 6 extra stats are up for grabs when you want to re-roll them. The values of these stats are also RNG, and both of these things, the stats and their values, come from pressing this button. You press it and then you have, instead of speciality and agility 35 and 8, you have endurance 26, subdue 17. Now whether you like this change that happened right now or you don't, you still have to press the confirm button. There is no way to go back like it is, for example, with polishing, when you can keep your current skill and not take the actual change that happened. So you have to press confirm and have to do this until you get yourself exactly the stats and the values, very important, that you need. Sometimes what can happen is, what exactly happened here, is that the subdue stat got a maximum value of plus 35 on this weapon. Now plus 35 points in that stat is the maximum that you can get on this particular weapon, right? I got it in subdue. Obviously I don't want this stat, so I'm hoping that the stat that I want the most, which is whatever it is for your class, is the one that you're gonna get here as maximum. Or if you don't necessarily want that, or if you don't just want to build yourself with one stat primarily and everything else a little bit of some other second stat, then you can also go, you know, with equal, like it was before, 22 and 22, if you want 2 stats and both of them to grow the same, you know, as you reroll them. As for the stats themselves, you have critical, which is a very straightforward stat. It increases your critical chance by that %. You have speciality. This is a very interesting stat which deals with whatever you have here in the middle. If you're a blaster, you have this skill that you can transform into a turret, and then the skills that you have here on your bar as a blaster when you're in the turret mode, if you have a lot of speciality, they do increased damage. Also, for every single class, your awakening skill is buffed by the speciality stat, and everything else that you might have related to here in the middle is also buffed, as it says there in the tooltip. Some classes benefit a lot more from speciality than some others. For example, as a blaster, I would never go personally for speciality, because in the turret mode I don't go very often. Also, my awakening skill, it's really nice, I absolutely love it, but it's not something that I wanna give up another stat for. This is the reason, actually. But for example, if you're a soul master, then speciality is an amazing stat for you. Why? Because the soul master innate skill is actually on a nice low cooldown. It doesn't hinder you in any way whatsoever. You can still use your regular skills, like it hinders, for example, if you're a blaster, you're just stuck there in one place in a turret, you have only 3 skills and so on and so forth. So it's not worth it for blasters, but it is for a soul master, because their innate skill not only doesn't hinder you in any way and it allows you complete freedom, but it also gives you very, very nice perks like attack speed and attack power. So obviously with speciality, the perks and the amount of attack speed and power that the soul master's innate gives you rises. So in that sense, a soul master gets not only speciality from speciality, it also gets attack speed and attack power and so on and so forth. So for them, it's an amazing stat to have here on top of agility or whatever, critical even. So it depends on your class, but this is how you need to think about speciality. Do you use these things in the middle a lot? Do you use your elite skill a lot? Is it worth it for you, your elite skill? Is it valuable to your combat or to your group? Do you cast it in a proper fashion on the target? Do you miss it sometimes? And these are the questions that you need to answer before you put in a lot of points in speciality. There are classes that work extremely well with it, and there are classes that don't. The next stat is Subdue, and this is a stat that increases the damage you do to targets that are somehow immobilized or impaired, right? For example, when a player is stunned or CC'd or knocked down, then you do that much damage to that player while he's in that state. The same goes for PvE. If a boss is in the CC phase and he's like knocked down, or mobs are knocked, and so on and so forth, then you do more damage to them. Agility is a very interesting stat. I believe, in my humble opinion, that agility is a stat that every single class should go for. Maybe arguably there is one or two classes in the game that can go a bit softer on agility, but besides that, agility is so nice because it increases your attack speed. Every class is amazing with attack speed, and in general in every MMORPG attack speed is awesome. It increases your movement speed, which is again amazing in Lost Ark, reduces the skill cooldowns as well. So 3 amazing perks you get from agility. Agility should be something that you really consider having on any class you are. Of course, if you're a class that has very low skill cooldowns and short skill animations, then this might be debatable for you. Maybe you find critical and speciality more worth it in that sense, or maybe you don't need to go full ham in agility to actually feel a difference. Maybe halfway there for your class, I don't know, a battle master, a soul master can work as well as full agility for a very slow class like a destroyer or a berserker or a blaster. This again, you have to think about it. How is your playstyle? You have to try out things. You're in Russia now, it's not your actual game. It might come next year, it might not come at all, but just saying, right now, since you're testing, test out a variety of builds. You're just wasting shillings. You don't care about this account anyway, so do that. Test out and see how you feel with a lot of agility, how you feel with half of that agility, depending on your class, yeah? Endurance is something that personally I don't agree with endurance in Lost Ark, but in Korea and throughout my time in Korea, I did see some very amazing bards that had specific sets just for PvE when they were supporting full of endurance. That was a thing. It gives you physical defense, magical defense. The shields that you use on yourself and on your party members are larger. Obviously bards have a lot of shields, and the HP recovery effect increases by 1% depending how much endurance you have. It worked really well for them. It was nice if you play it that way. I think they were endurance main and then agility as a secondary stat. As I showed you there, you can have one max and the other one little. So it was really nice. Proficiency, this is something that increases the duration of your CCs in general on mobs and on players. It also decreases the duration of their stuns on you. Having said that, you might think that's quite okay to have, right, in PvP, because when a person just stuns you and knocks you down all the time, you get up half the time faster, and then that one infighter is actually gonna miss his elite skill on you because you get the chance to get up and go away from the spot before he casts it. Sure, that's an argument, but it's really not worth it, because if you're in that position in which you need to have less stun effect on you because you've gotten stunned, then that's not really a position in which you need to be. Or you need, if you're in 3v3s, you rely also on your teammates to save you from that guy doing stuff on you while you're impaired. It goes into a very big conversation, this one, but I personally don't think that this is a good stat either. So eventually at the end of the day, you have critical, speciality and agility as a stat, and occasionally later on when you get your full 520 item level set with December's update in Lost Ark in Russia, then maybe maybe if you're a bard, you can consider creating one of these sets as well, since you're supporting, or full supporting anyway, for harder raids. That's everything that I wanted to talk about. I hope this video was useful to you, so you can understand a little bit these extra stats and maybe how to think about your class. The purpose of my videos is not necessarily to give you a cookie cutter build, like, hey, use this because this is the best. There are builds that are really good, but what's more important is how you build your class and what kind of a player you are, and are you a support bard or a DPS bard, Kappa, or maybe you're a person who likes to play a little bit faster, and then you need specific things to make you be able to do that. This goes the same with the stats as it goes with the set that you're choosing for yourself, and obviously as it goes with your skill build, especially your skill build. I'm gonna have another video, I think not right after this one, but it might be after this one, in which I wanna guide you through the basics of creating yourself a good skill build appropriate for PvP and for PvE, depending what you're playing and what basic things that you need to keep in mind. But it's gonna come in probably just a few days from now, guys. As always, guys, I wish you lots of love. Thank you so much for your time watching. I hope this was useful, helpful to you. I'm gonna see you in just a few days. Take it easy and stay safe.